I am a bad bitch.
Bad bitch that doesn't pay her bills. How many houses do you have?
You can never touch the money that I've ever touched in my lifetime.
I can hit 10 people.
Honey, multi-million-dollar business.
Multi-million-dollar bills.
I have a lot of money. My husband is
I
paying.
know employees.
Okay, turn your fan on.
I never cancel Christmas for my employees.
What are you talking about?
Baby, how you doing to cancel Christmas? You owe people.
What are you talking about?
You owe employees.
Let me tell you what delusion is in Rosetta Stone language, okay? Hey, husband. Delusion is faith. Okay, you know that little message. You see something that other people can't see. You see the vision. You see the drive. You see the energy. You see the thing that people say, okay, whatever. Here she go again, talking about that thing again. Or there he go again, working on that thing, and it ain't been going nowhere for the last 5 years. Guess what? Catch me next year. Catch me on year 6. That thing that I've been working on for 5 years is going to explode in year 6 because I have this crazy faith in my belly. My spirit leaps every single day that I work on that thing. It's called delusion.
Y'all, Angela Oakley is about to take Pinky Cole to school. There's no way she's acting this aggressive on TV while $25 million is missing. And no, this ain't about bashing Pinky for fun. It's the fact that she's coming at anybody with a different opinion while there's a whole queue of black employees saying she did them dirty.
I am one of the most prominent black women entrepreneurs in the country. So to wake up one day and say, hey, I'm gonna file for bankruptcy, that is not easy. The minute that you file for bankruptcy, people automatically think that you're broke.
I was the personal guarantor for everything.
Your counsel allowed you to personally guarantee?
Yeah.
Okay.
And part of the reason why I'm in all of this is because my former CFO took money from the company.
Whenever someone gets cast for Real Housewives, we already know that there must be some nasty skeletons hiding somewhere for Bravo to give the green light on them. If you ask Pinky Cole to introduce herself, she'll say she's a serial entrepreneur with a $100 million vegan business under her belt. She's a boss babe, a proud mama, and someone who can do it all, basically. After Angela Oakley read her to filth, Pinky quickly tried to lean into whatever merits she had as an entrepreneur. She claimed that she's self-made, built everything from the ground up herself, while Angela got everything she had laying on her back.
I'm trying to give Pinky a chance, but she's coming off very elitist. Not a girl's girl at all.
She's beneath my tax bracket. Like, I shouldn't even be arguing like that.
Now, wait a minute. She needs to slow down with the financial jabs at the other ladies. This doesn't land when we have to hear about your bankruptcy every week.
I built my business on my back, and Angela had to
Not
lay
land
on her back.
And that's one statement Angela wasn't about to let fly unchecked. She straight up told Pinky, "What I won't do is let anybody reduce my life to laying on my back. That's lazy, disrespectful, and honestly says more about how they see women than it says about me. Do better, Minion and meat-munching Monique." It's one thing if Pinky was throwing stones and her hands and bank accounts were clean with nothing to hide. But for Angela, while one or two members of the cast may be a paycheck away from disaster, Pinky is already in it pretty deep. And this bankruptcy that she filed is not about to save her from the trouble she's in.
I don't know if y'all remember, but Pinky Cole started Slutty Vegan in 2018, taking orders from her apartment. It went super viral, and in 2022, she raised $25 million from angel investors and other people who believed in the brand. Pinky talked about how she wanted to use the money not just to keep the business afloat, but expand it. She tried to position the brand as more than just food, and poured into merchandising and creating experiences. The restaurant business is probably one of the hardest to crack into, and you need a good 5 to 7 years before you can confidently say that it's a successful business. So investors aren't too quick to pour that kind of money in, and are even more reluctant to give it to black restaurant owners because of fear of losing the money and mismanagement. And Pinky kind of proved them right. In less than 2 years, all that funding was just gone. You could have said that maybe the money went to paying employees and keeping Christmas going, since that's usually one of the biggest expenses for any restaurant. But girl, she wasn't paying nothing to nobody. Her employees filed several lawsuits talking about how they were paid $2.13 an hour, if they were paid at all. They were asked to pay 25% of their tips to the house, which went back to Pinky. There were also reports that she doesn't take care of her employees at all. And when they tried to talk to her about the tip situation, they said those were the rules of the house, and if they didn't like it, they could find somewhere else to work.
is that when you grow that fast, right, sometimes you put basketball players on a golf course. You understand what I'm saying? So you got people that do an incredible job in their skill set, but then you position them somewhere else and they can't do what you need to do to take you where you need to go.
Pinky tried to deflect accountability. She claimed she made a mistake hiring her family to run her business, and despite having her name on the door as the CEO, she didn't know what was going on with the accounts. Pinky also claimed that Slutty Vegan had a target on its back since it was well on its way to becoming a billion-dollar business. So all these problems were a way to slow down their growth. $25 million from investors, and Pinky hires her cousins? How did she think that was going to play out? Around 2025, Pinky ended up losing her business, but bought it back. She tried to rebrand it as Slutty 2.0, but all the momentum had died down and she had no choice but to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. According to Angela, Pinky thought filing the bankruptcy was just going to wipe the slate clean and get her off the hook. She didn't bother to get a lawyer involved and has been going through the process on her own. In fact, the whole reason why she joined Real Housewives was to get some positive attention and control the narrative, since marketing is something she's good at. But $25 million is not a small thing, and there were a lot of investors Pinky pulled from. And to top it all off, she's still living it up. She even made a whole video laughing at the whole bankruptcy and the people who expected her to be down because of it. Also, after her CFO, Erin Madison, was indicted for taking $112,000 from the business, Pinky went on a victory lap. She said that this vindicated her and the CFO was really the one in charge of the finances while she was off having babies.
So shout out to all of the media companies who circulated real news, okay? But just make my little JPEG a little bit smaller, okay? Because Pinky Cole didn't get indicted for anything. If anything, I got vindicated because for years I have been fighting and battling my reputation for the work of other people. And, you know, Bar Vegan was my company. I was the CEO of the company, but I did not run the company. So I was the financier. So I financed the project, but there were other people running the company, specifically the person who was indicted. He was the CFO and he's the one, the only one who touched the finances.
But if you think about it, her CFO only took $100,000 out of $25 million. So where's the rest of the money? And from what's already coming out about her finances and lifestyle, Pinky is starting to look sus. In the bankruptcy filing, she listed her monthly income at $14,500, which is pretty decent. Not multi-millionaire mogul decent, but a good living the American dream type income. However, her total monthly expenses were listed at $41,700. When you do the math, that means every month she is $27,117 in the red. And this money has to be coming from somewhere, since her monthly income just doesn't cut it. Now, you might want to say that Pinky's been in business for a while, so she must have some assets that's funding all of this. And girl, it gets even crazier from here. Pinky listed her total assets as $77,723,200. And almost none of this is cash for someone claiming to be a mogul. She has about $3,500 in her checking/savings account, and another $2,000 in retirement accounts. Her different real estate properties come up to around $2.8 million. And it didn't state that she earns any income from there. Meanwhile, the remaining $73 million is tied up in her struggling businesses, like the Slutty Vegan franchise, Pinky Cole Enterprises, and Pinky Cole Foundation. This right here is what you call paper wealth. And this $73 million is based on the 2022 valuation. So you can bet that if they ran the numbers today, it's going to be much lower than that. So Pinky can talk big about being a multimillionaire entrepreneur, but if the current state of her finances is anything to go by, it's giving Atlanta hustler more than anything else. Insiders have claimed that hardly anyone comes in her restaurants anymore, because there's no way someone's going to spend $30 on some fries, drink, and a burger that's overrated and got nothing to it. She got lucky with the marketing, but other than that, there's not much going on. And Pinky also knows this, which is why she joined Real Housewives. Maybe the funds could have lasted longer if she wasn't so focused on being a celebrity and living beyond her means. Girl, I don't know how Pinky plans to buy Angela's foreclosed house when she has her own pockets to watch. And the internet definitely has something to say about it. The old man's wife made mean comments, but they weren't lies. Pinky is a failed business owner that had to file bankruptcy and took a credit rating nosedive. Pinky, shut up! Angela is beneath your tax bracket, but you've been sobbing every week since we met you about bankruptcy? Girl, gone. So in other words, she's going to be the next housewife facing federal charges. She also didn't pay her employees. The B is plenty broke. She needs to go. Do y'all think Pinky constantly talking about her bankruptcy is a good move? Sound off in the comments and make sure to like and subscribe. See you later, baddies!